to talk about what's going on in our world, and why you shouldn't be freaking out, even though that is super reasonable, and what we do need to be ready for, and what the times are really about. Okay, are we good with that? Let's do this. I was watching a lot of the things that I usually watch on YouTube about astrology, what's happening with the energies in our world. I'm extremely sensitive to energies more and more as we move into this evolutionary period. Um, and it just seemed to me that what I can really share is something that has benefited me tremendously. uh, it's very, very difficult for us to deal with what's going on in our country and in the world. I mean, here we are, the entire country is breaking down all of the systems that we've come to just rely on without even thinking. They've been like oxygen to us. And we've got countries all over the world going, I'm not going to do business with you. Like, I live in Ohio, and right next door to me is Kentucky. And there are countries going, thanks, no, we're not going to import any of your alcohol. Now, it's not that I think that alcohol is the be all and end all, but what I'm saying is we're in a world of hurt, and I want you to understand some things that I've come to know and come to understand, in the hopes that it may help you as much as it helps me. So, when we look at all the things that are happening, we tend to freak out because that is the reasonable response to this stuff. This is crazy. I mean, unless you are somebody who thinks that everything that's happening is really awesome, that, I mean, I could list them, but that would take the entire 30 minutes that I've got to do this. So, but our health is being impacted, our security for our health, in terms of food and what is actually healthy for us, what should be in our food and what shouldn't. People have stopped doing all this investigating of like cancer research, and I mean, this is it. Like I said, I could go on and on. And so if you're freaking out, that makes a lot of sense. Now, I found a way to bring in my nervous system into a place of more balance more of the time, like most of the time. And it really does have to do with understanding that there's another part to all of this that we don't see and that the news never covers. Even the news you watch on YouTube that's, more balanced. And that has to do with energy. And it has to do with understanding and talking about what's going on behind the scenes that we're not seeing. We're not talking about it. So I haunt YouTube. Excuse me. And I listen to all kinds of people. I listen to Rachel Maddow. I listen to, um, God, what is his name? Lee, who is like this massive spiritual guy who is really tuned in to energies. I watch astrologers. I watch um, people who are extremely tuned in, psychic people who throw cards, who throw tarot cards and things on the political situation, and who know tons more than I know. And I'm talking about people in England and Australia who know more about the politics of my country than I do. Now, what I do with all of that, I'm not looking for another person to follow. That's not what I'm doing here. I am finding in all of these different pieces of information alternate ways to look at what's happening that bring in an understanding that keeps me from freaking out. And that's really helpful because the people who are doing all this crap to our system want us to freak out. So we need to have both sides of this equation, y'all. We need to. We need to have an understanding. First of all, behind the scenes, there are people working and working. I talk people like Kamala, people like, of course, there's Bernie, who's out on the road doing the whole oligarchy, anti-oligarchy uh, tour, and AOC, and there's Jasmine Crockett sitting there every day being a badass. And there are, I'm sure, I feel certain that Obama and Biden and a whole bunch of other people are behind the scenes going, okay, let's see what we can do. And it is so much more complicated than we give it credit for, because there are perfect times to let something brew and perfect times to take it down. So understanding that astrologically as well, there are times that support the change and times that go, it's time for this to bubble and boil, because all of the people who are looking at what's happening are not seeing what's happening. People are still only watching Fox News, only saying this is the thing that's happening, and nothing will ever be more right than dump truck. And it's like, not, it's absolutely not freaking true. What I am hearing from so many people on YouTube is this is coming to a head. It's not coming to a head fast enough for us. We'd like this to be over right this hot second. I get it. We really would like this to be over right stinking now. And we have a role to play in this. This is all happening because we are being asked to evolve as humans. That's my perspective. This is my understanding, my experience. It's why I say it with such certainty and passion. It's not something that I believe in because it seems like it would be awesome to believe this. This is my understanding from my personal experiences of growth and healing and consciousness and all of this. So we are being asked to evolve. What does that stinking mean? What does it mean you're being asked to evolve? It means that we are becoming more than only human. We are being asked to come into an identity that is bigger than that. The identity we've lived in for so very long is one that says, I have to just allow the people who are in charge to be in charge, and there's really nothing much I can do about it other than vote. Or there are those who go, why do I even vote? It's a much bigger thing than me. Who cares? I have no say in it. Well, whether or not that's been to any degree or no degree true, what's happening now is proving that we have a voice, that we the people, how many freaking millions of us, there are more of us than of this elite bunch of dipsticks. By the way, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm told that this must be said in order to, I don't know, not get sued, not be seen as somebody who knows, I don't know, the future. But that said, entertainment purposes only. There has never in history been a bad time that has lasted forever. That gives me some hope. Not a lot, but some. Okay, there's more. Because you can still be very hurt. There are farmers who are losing their farms. There are people who are losing their health insurance. There are parents of disabled children who are being literally told in Ohio to leave school because they don't have time. They don't have enough time to deal with your disabled child. This is not the world that I or the people I know want to live in. So we are learning to speak up. And what we're learning beyond that is that we cannot ever stop. We have to pay attention. So this is a bitter lesson that we're learning. But that said, even though it's bitter, it's also exciting when you look at it from the perspective of beginning to see who you really are. You are not just a little human person. You are a huge energy. And when you come together with other huge energies that are saying, this is not the world I want to live in, I want to live in this one, then boom, we make a difference. We have stopped things from happening. So dump truck is out there going, let's have tariffs. Why? Because he doesn't understand anything. He doesn't understand that tariffs tax us. It doesn't tax other people. The raising in prices comes because we're now going to be charged more to bring in all the things from other countries that we have always brought in. And we are telling them, we're taxing you more. And they're going, really? That's great. We're raising our prices. You're raising my tariff by 45, my taxes, my tariff, same thing, by 45%. Guess what? I'm going to charge you 55% more. And then, of course, the people who are importing have to pass that expense on to us, the consumer. This is stuff I am learning. I am just learning this stuff now. I should have known this a long time ago. But like you, I felt disempowered. I felt powerless. I felt like it didn't matter. And I was wrong. I was completely wrong. However, that doesn't matter. We do not have to look back and go, oh, what we have to do is go, this is an enormous freaking opportunity to take my power in a way that I've never understood power. The power to have my perspective and speak up about it. The power to say, here are my ethics. I think we should take care of everybody. We need to take care of everybody. I care about the parent of the disabled student who's been told your kid has to leave school and find somewhere else to go learn because they're taking too much time and attention because we just don't have the money to deal with it. Enough. This is not the way that we want to live. This is not the way that we survive. Whether you agree with me or not, we are not going to survive. And this is the lesson that we all have to understand, that we rise or fall because we're all together, because we're all in the same boat. Okay. Now, if you understand, if you can look forward, which is what the tarot political readers are doing, and what's interesting is they all see the same thing, whether they're from America, Australia, England, overseas somewhere else, like closer to, like, I don't know, Romania. I mean, people are all seeing the same thing. They're seeing that the cracks are showing. They're seeing that this is going to come to an end pretty quickly. Now, that's fabulous. When I say pretty quickly, what I mean to say is by September, we are going to have had so much more revealed that there are going to be more Republican people who, Republican politicians who are going to be breaking ranks and working to do something different. Now, I think they have killed themselves. I think their careers are over. They've shown that they don't care. They've just shown that they don't care. I'm not doing any more town hall meetings because I'm afraid and I don't know how to answer your questions and I just want to be an apologist for Trump. Then get the hell out of public service, because you are not representing 100% of the people that elect, of all the people that put you in there. And you're not doing 100%. You're not supporting 100% of the people in your districts. You're not. You're choosing to represent you and a would-be dictator. So get the hell out. Entertainment purposes only. This is crashing down. The signal gate thing, I mean, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Because the waltz with a T, not without, the walls without a T is out there doing awesome things. Was Kamala's running mate. The waltz with a T, the one who put together the whole signal gate, apparently he's done 20 to 40 other incredibly sensitive chats on this signal thing. They're supposed to be in the situation room where there are safeguards about being overheard. They are putting not just pilots, but you and me, our children, our parents, our grandparents, our friends in danger. They're putting all of us at risk and have been doing so for a very long time. So, why shouldn't we freak out? If you look at this from the energy perspective, which is what we have not done enough of, most of us haven't done it at all, like at all. I don't even understand it, which is why I teach it, because it's critical. It's critical to understand we are not just this flesh and blood. We are the energy that comes out from our emotions and our speech, because the speech is a massive reflection of our emotional set points. We have to understand that our power lies in the energetic, in the vibrational, in the emotional. It lies in the feminine. Yep, in emotion. That thing, excuse me, that the patriarchy wants to shame us for. Well, for good reason, because they don't want us using that power. But we have that power. I will try to remember to put in, you know what, if you wanna be a part of a course, like an introductory thing that would be free about this, go look for my email, which is in the description of all this, and drop me an email and let me know. I wanna be in the free course. Okay, it'll be a free workshop. So just put your email in there, let me know, and I'll be glad to put a 90-minute training together, because hello, this is where our power lies. Now, I get really frustrated because I want to get this message out there, and so that's why I'm doing this. So I don't have to be frustrated. I can just share this with you guys. You guys can share it with other people, and we can maybe come together and be a community of people waking up together and experimenting and seeing how all this stuff works for us individually. And that's what I want to help you do. I mean, I understand so much about this, and I'm still learning. I keep moving forward with my understanding of what's going on. And I want others to get it too, because it only takes 8% of the entire world, not the country, world. It takes only 8% of us waking up to who we really are, the fullness of who we really are, to change this world literally overnight. And I got that from Greg Braden, who is a physicist, a spiritual guy, because physics and spirituality are like this, y'all. They're like this. If I'd known that, I would have become a physicist a long time ago. No. My mind doesn't work quite that way, but everything I learn about practical spirituality, which is what I'm all about, everything I learn has its grounding in physics. So if people go, "You're so woo-woo," nope, I'm practical as fuck. That's the truth. So invite people to join this live right now. Invite people right now. That'll really help. And here's what I want you to see. Imagine this. Imagine that, as I firmly believe, and I'll tell you why, that this election was stolen. Imagine that information comes out. Imagine that people within this so-called power structure, which is actually not power, it's control. It's a different thing than power, y'all. Very different. This is big. Control is different from power. It truly, truly is. Oh God. Hey, that's my cat is doing something ridiculous. Will you get out of there? He's gonna end up, if he falls out the window, I'm gonna have to end this really quickly. I guess he found a bug. Okay. So imagine that all kinds of information about how Felon 45 is in bed with the Russians and always has been since 86, I think it was. And that, because honestly, if you look at it factually, he's done absolutely everything that the Russian playbook would call for. That's what he's done. Everything. It's amazing. And like, he couldn't have done better if he were Russian, honestly. So he's definitely in their pocket. We know this. Most of us know this. But here's what happens when this information starts to come out, when the cracks start to show, is that the people who are conspirators, they start to turn on each other. There's no honor among thieves, it's said, and there's nothing truer. Nothing truer. There is no honor among thieves. They will, Felon 45 will, throw people under the bus faster than he can take his next breath. That is how he operates. The only reason he hasn't thrown Muskrat under the bus is because he needed his money. But Muskrat's starting to go down. The the stocks have fallen tremendously. He keeps having to bail himself out, which is not the way that seriously filthy rich people do it. They make their money off of using other people's money. So this is not good for him. This is absolutely not good. And I fully expect that people are going to start tattling on each other as we go further into the summer. You have to know that since this was stolen, this election was stolen, that there are people who have information about it. It is theorized, entertainment purposes only, theorized that it is the group called, oh God, what is that group? It starts with an A. Anonymous. That the group Anonymous has all of this material. Here's the thing I think about, that there are perfect times to reveal information and perfect times to wait and let something come to a boil before you lance it, before you go. And here's what else. I come from the world of acting. It's part of my background. And when you build a story, when you build a moment of really tremendous power, it's because you've got resistance and you've got anxiety and you've got concern, and then boom, with the play or the movie, you release it. Here's the information, here's the thing that starts the next chapter. And there are people who are strategists like this in the political realm, and they are behind the scenes and they are working on this. They are getting their ducks in a row, and it feels too freaking slow to us. It just feels ridiculously slow. How I keep my sanity, and I promise, I will tell you why I'm very certain that they stole this election, and I think he stole the 2016 election as well, with Elon's help, with electronic help. Lost my train of thought. Okay, I'll just tell you why I'm sure of this. I was watching something the other day. It was on Rachel Maddow, and it was a man who was a politician, and I'm so sorry, I can't remember his name, but he said something that rang true to me because I had already had that thought, and I got into a bit of a kerfuffle with a friend of mine over this. So I'll start with the kerfuffle with my friend. And I said to her, well, he stole the election. She goes, well, that's what they said about us. You're just repeating shit, stop it. And I said, well, we'll just wait. We'll just wait and see what happens. And then you can make your mind up. So I was like, I'm not going to fight with you about this. So this man who's in politics comes on the Rachel Maddow show and says, absolutely everything that they accuse us of, meaning us, the liberals, everything they accuse us of is stuff that they do. And I went, yes, I knew that, but I didn't know that others knew that. Like, I didn't know that this was as much of a thing. Like, I didn't know I could spread it that wide. Like, everything that they accuse us of is what they're doing. But it's true. It's 150,000% true. And it reminds me of the husband who comes home and the wife says, have you been cheating on me? And he goes, well, I was wondering if you were cheating on me. Just such gaslighting. It's perfect gaslighting. Hearing anybody talk about these things in this way takes the pressure off of your nervous system and allows you to start to realize that this chronic focus that we have on all the shit that's happening isn't helping us. We have to be aware, we have to speak up, we have to know what's going on, but we also have to take really good care of ourselves. And part of that is beginning that healing, that seriously identity shifting healing of understanding that we're not only human. It's not just what's happening in this moment that's going on. It's really not. I knew when I was a kid, just instinctively, I just knew that this space that we sit, that we move through, is not empty. It's something. It's not empty. Empty space is not empty. It's full of something, and what it is it's full of energy. This entire situation, this reality that we live in, is actually what our energies, our unconscious, ungoverned, undirected, unplanned, just sort of trying to get through and trying to do the best we can, energies have created as a soup. It's not your fault, my fault, his fault, her fault. It's our doing, and it's from our unconsciousness. So our ungoverned and unmonitored emotional output. If I spend my life in anger, what I'm putting out there is not so pleasant. I may have incredibly great reasons for being angry, and that there needs to be healing there. What does the healing look like? That's individual. But it certainly doesn't mean that you go, I'm not angry, I'm not angry, I'm not angry, because it's bullshit. Your energy is stronger than any freaking thing you say. So when what you truly feel and what you are saying are in alignment, there's your power. Amazing. If I put energy out there that says I feel balanced, I feel my nervous system and my solar plexus are calm, because even though this sucks, even though I'm being impacted by this or by this, I can see that there are other things at play here. I can start to bring in the power of saying, oh my God, I can change my possibilities and my opportunities by shifting my energy. I know that's a freaking huge one. But anyway, just knowing that that's like even a possibility gives me a different focus on what's going on. Then what I'm doing, let me give you an insight of what I'm doing. Now, I'm on Social Security. I'm also working contract positions to keep going while I get my business robust. And so I've got kind of a crazy life that way. I have medications that I need to get that I take every single day, and without which I'll be a total freaking mess. So if they start fucking with my money and my medication, I'm going to have to do something, right? Here's what I think we have to do. I don't want to wait till then. So I am in the moment of today. If my money is not being messed with, if my medication is not being messed with, I'm thankful. I'm like, that's great. That makes this a really good and easier day. And I'm thankful for that. That's good. What I also know is that I know how to take one step forward. I do. I know how to take one step forward. What I mean is, I've been in such shitty situations in my life where I didn't think I could get out of them. And I took one step forward and another step forward and another step forward. And I learned that as I step into what I can do, rather than thinking I have to do it all, something magical comes forward to help me. Like somebody, like when I was going homeless in my 50s. That's not when you want to go homeless. I mean, not that you ever do, but come on, really? And I was out in California, and I reached out on Facebook and I said, hey, you guys, I've tried everything I know to do to support myself out here. And now that my partner passed away, I'm going broke and I'm going to go homeless. And I want to come home to Ohio where I can afford to live. Once I get out of living in my car, well, I didn't have to live in my car because I took that one step of help me. Can anybody even give me like $5 just to get me home? I just got to find a way to get home. People came out of the frickin' woodwork. They moved forward. Here's $5. The first person who gave me something was somebody who gave me $5, and she said, I'm so sorry, I can't give you more. And I was in tears with gratitude. I felt humbled like I'd never felt humbled before. I was like, oh my God, somebody just gave me money to help me? Really? Not a family member? Oh my, I just cried. People bought, somebody who was a friend of mine, she passed away last year. I loved her dearly. Her name was Nancy. And she bought me a $550 plane ticket to get home. We hadn't talked in 40 years. Other people reached out and gave what they could and helped me get my ass home. Now, I was very respectful and ethical about keeping people updated. Here's what's going on. Here's why I don't have the money. Here's why I can't sell the car. I'm upside down on the loan. Here's why I have to ship the damn thing, because I was in horrific shape, and there was no way I was going to make the drive from California to Ohio and survive it. So people sent money so that I could ship the damn thing. I still have the damn thing, 10 years later. Amazing. It's old, but it's with me. And so taking one step forward is all that we need to do. You need to understand this. You don't need to take 17 steps. You take one step that you know you can do. And if you don't have the faith in yourself or in something that allows you to feel like I don't have to completely freak out and lose my mind, which I used to be a specialist at, yeah, then that is your work, is to figure out what can I have faith in. And it needs to be you. It needs to be in that one step, just in that one step. And knowing that that's all you can do, and that really is good enough. These are big asks, right? These are not things that people teach us, and they certainly don't teach us how to do it. So if you're in the spiritual realm, you're like, I understand, I've heard all this. How do I freaking make it happen? That's the question we need to be asking. And that's why when I created what I created to heal myself from decades of terrible, terrible clinical depression, I said, I got to share this with people. My God, they've got to know, they've got to understand. So when you understand that your energy, your emotional energy is where it's at, and that you can shift that, and that shifts your reality, it shifts your quality of life, it shifts how you can feel inside your own emotional being, which is huge because that impacts your quality of life. It's like discovering that your feet are on dry ground for the first time in your whole life. That's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. So instead of freaking out, I recommend that you get proactive with preparing. Because if dump truck does not walk back these tariffs, and because there are going to be fewer things coming into the U.S., at least in the short term, by short term, I mean the next, I'm going to say 5-6 months, it's time to stock up. So stock up. Get cans and cans and cans of things that will not go bad for a year. Make sure that if you're somebody who is into vegetables, you might want to buy, as I'm going to, something that you can grow your own veggies in your own home, in your own apartment. Think about what you can get now that might be more expensive later that you would like to have enough of to get you through, let's say, September. Because that seems to be the consensus among these readers and things, that's when we'll be, we'll be going through the keyhole at that point, from the bad to the better. Here's another thing to understand about from the bad to the better, is that we are in an evolutionary period. So astrologically, as well as spiritually, we're transforming. And in that transformation, We have to start dipping our toes into exploring in realistic, practical ways how we can access and understand and feel our way into the good that's coming. Because this is not like heralding the end of our world. This is a birth, y'all. This is a birth. We are coming out of a forever of patriarchal bullshit, of women being second class citizens, of people of color being really abused, murdered, like the whole thing is power over instead of power with. It's got to go. And so this is what is happening, is we're seeing all of these power players going, but wait, I don't know, I'm gonna make you shut up and sit down. And we're out here going, I don't think so. I don't think so. And we're also scared because we don't know the magnitude of our power. So I've got to get off at this point because I'm going to be on a podcast in about 10, 12 minutes. And I got to get ready for that. And I'm just asking that if you want to be part of a 90-minute free workshop to dip your toes into the practical aspect of spirituality, into how you bring those together inside of you so you can start to literally have faith in you and literally feel calmer, have more sovereignty over the energies that you put out, more intentionality, then just write to my email, goodbye, good girl project @gmail.com. It's not goodbye girl. Don't hear that. It's goodbye good girl. Three G's. Goodbye good girl project @gmail.com. And let me know and share that. If you have enjoyed this, then if this has helped you in some way, please let your friends know and have them email me as well. Because when I have at least 5 or 10 people, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay? Don't freak out. Or if you do, because we all do, use it to propel yourself into action. Use it to propel yourself into strategizing. What would I do if? What would I do if that happened? What should I be preparing for? What am I assuming that maybe I should, assuming that's going to happen, like assuming that the world will be the way it was. It won't. I'm sorry. This is tough stuff. This is really tough stuff. But it's going to be different, but it's going to be better. It's going to be better. We are all waking up in one way or another. Whether it's the liberals like me who said, you don't want him. You don't want him anywhere near the government. We had to wake up to our power. I've had to wake up to, I need to do this, exactly this, what I'm doing right here. Figure out how I can get through, how I can help people get into their power so that we can create intentionally and heartfully and with sovereignty and wisdom and the feminine aspect of life, compassion, the emotion, the intuition, the inspiration, the fierce feminine, that we can create a whole different thing that actually works. Because I think spiritually, that is Dump Truck's soul purpose, SOUL, soul purpose. I think he had a soul contract to come in here and fuck us up. Doesn't make me like him any better. But it does give me a viewpoint when I understand that it's wonderful that this is happening as quickly as it is so we don't fall back asleep. It's wonderful that this is happening as quickly as it is because we couldn't get through this in the long term. It's too much. So it's got to happen quickly and it's got to break down quickly, and it will. It will. Now, head out to YouTube, go watch a bunch of these awesome people. Go look at Meister Tarot, Maighstir. She's awesome. Um, um, uh, there's Libby, and I can't think of her podcast. Oh my God, she's awesome. Linda G. Also look at Linda G. And soothe yourself with the knowledge that this is not an ending. This is a pass through. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it, y'all. It's gonna be all right. It's going to be like passing kidney stones or gallstones, like one of them said this morning on their podcast. But we're going to make it. I promise you. All right. Lots of love. Let me know how I can help, and I'll see you later.